Take two. That's cool. At least I got a chance to. I made it all the way through two of these things, almost 5, 6, 7 minutes, and I forgot to hit record on the display capture. So I got that now. Anyways, what's up, guys? Welcome to Simple Shit Vlogs. We're just going to rock through some of today's current events, some of the things that are happening locally and nationally, and then we're going to try to just break down some of these really big concepts into some really small bite-sized pieces, and then hopefully that will kind of carry us through, and we'll start to educate ourselves on what's happening in the world today. Done with the gaslighting, all information, facts only. Okay, I just want to read the words. So anyways, we're going to start with, in this video, we're going to start locally. So I'm from San Francisco, in San Francisco right now. So we got a little San Francisco drama here. So let's actually let's go to here. Boom. All right. So for some of you guys, again, those of you that are watching this from San Francisco, our numbers are great as far as the rest of the country is concerned, but things are coming up. And just like with any major city, anytime you start to have some sort of an outbreak, it's going to be easy for that to make its way into the rest of the population. So it looks like London Breed, looks like she's like we're going to go back into some of the restrictions that we had before. Probably one of the biggest things, the city's rolling back reopening of non-essential offices and reduced gym capacity to 10% starting Tuesday, November 17th. So unfortunately, I knew it was coming. There you go. What I will say is this. Look, the disease is airborne. There's no reason why anyone should be working out indoors right now. I mean, obviously, people have their businesses, so on and so forth, but any fitness professional that is working out with a client indoors is being irresponsible, period. That's all there is to it. They cannot guarantee a person's safety, period. And, it sucks because I think I have a lot of friends that are in the business that are not going to like the fact that I'm saying that, but that's a reality. If you're training people indoors right now, it's bullshit. So that being said, it looks like our fearless leader, Gavin Newsom, whom generally I think is a pretty decent guy, he just before it looks like we're about to go into like a statewide lockdown, this guy decides that he's going to go to a birthday party at French Laundry, which is a fancy restaurant in Napa County, and this guy decides that he wants to go to this party just before he starts asking everybody to be locked down. So needless to say, our governor here has been getting his ass kicked in the media because of it. I mean, like I said, the hypocrisy is crazy. That's the part that's really getting me. It's just that the hypocrisy is crazy. In fact, real quick, hot take, okay? Hot take. The reason why Democrats aren't doing so well is because half of them are Republicans. They like to say that they're part of the Democratic Party, but deep down they're just a bunch of Amy Coopers. And like I said, facts only, that's what I would give you. But when you really look at it and you wonder why, like if you are really the Democratic Party and you are the party of these like progressive things and helping the working man and doing these things, why would you fight so hard to not do those things? And or why would you just lay down and let the other side push you around? The only reason why you would do that is if you didn't mind it so much. And so that is a smaller conversation, or that's a larger conversation that we'll have at another time. But Democrats will never ever win until they get everyone on the same page. And right now, half of the party is not an actual Democratic. They're not actual Democrats. They fall somewhere closer to Republicans. Now, maybe race has something to do with that. Maybe not. Yes, we got ourselves a professor resigned after calling, Biden voters ignorant, anti-American, and anti-Christian. Now, mind you, this is supposed to be our, these are educators. Like, these are people that are college educators that are doing these kinds of things, that are posting these kinds of things. Listen to what this guy says. Let's see if you have it here. Here we go, a little higher. If you were ignorant, anti-American, and anti-Christian enough to vote for Biden, I really don't want to be your social friend or on social media. This is what this guy writes on Facebook. I wouldn't hang out with you in real life. I don't want to hang out with you virtually either. Il's post continued. You have corrupted the elections. You have corrupted our youth. You have corrupted our country. I have standards and you don't meet them. Please remove yourself. This guy goes on a freaking rant on his social media on Facebook. Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Facebook, this is what it gets you. Look, once again, I don't know what this guy's, all of his politics are, what his issues are, but what I will say is that this is inappropriate language, and especially referring to his class, his class, people that he's teaching, and or just random people on the internet. Who cares, bro? Who cares? We have ourselves an op-ed written by Justice Alito. And for those of you that don't know, Justice Alito is probably one of the lesser known justices. Very conservative, doesn't really step out and say much in the public eye. So this is weird for him to come out and say something. Not necessarily weird, but again, judges usually come out and they are supposed to be right down the middle, down the road, and just interpret the law how they see it. Not really supposed to have opinions. And this person came out, Alito came out and had some pretty I don't want to say chilling, but some very conservative views that could definitely hint or signal to the Republican Party or other conservatives what he is willing to do and what he would almost like to do as the judge, almost giving his side, or maybe even the other side, a roadmap as to how they could get some of these things accomplished. And that's something that's not typically done by the Supreme Court. So this is why judges are extremely important, and why Republicans have been trying to cook the books the entire time, is because sure, the legislature makes law, but in a lot of times the judiciary applies that law and enforces that law. And if the courts are ultra conservative, then progressives will never get a shot in the courts where it really matters. And the courts lock people up. This is why this is important. So Georgia needs to get handled. So looks like Obama derides petulant Trump for refusing to concede election. I mean, oh yeah, we definitely got to talk about this. So the unspoken rule of the White House used to be that the former residents would demur from publicly disagreeing with the current commander-in-chief, but that all changed when Trump refused to concede the election to President-elect Biden. Nearly 2 weeks from following Election Day, former U.S. President Barack Obama accused Trump of putting his own selfish whims ahead of a society grappling with a killer pandemic and economic crisis in an interview. And this is extremely important, and this is the last thing I'm going to read on this particular article. One of the really distressing things about the current situation is the amount of time that is being lost because of Donald Trump's petulance and unwillingness of other Republicans to call him out on it. And I have a theory about that also. If I had to guess, I would say that Donald Trump has to be blackmailing Republicans. His best buddies was from the National Enquirer, and if anybody would have dirt on every politician across the country, it would be the National Enquirer. I would be willing to bet that Donald Trump has the goods on the GOP, and I feel like that's the only thing that would get these Bible-beaten conservatives to about face and lie in public. It's the only thing I can think that would get them to where they would actually do something like that. So mark my words, I'll get deeper. That was the hot take of the day. So hot take of the day, Donald Trump is blackmailing the GOP, literally blackmailing the GOP. like I said, where's the National Enquirer right now? Got real quiet, but the National Enquirer is still cooking. Sean Ellis. Essentially, we got ourselves just another one of these stories, and I'm not a big fan. I mean, it's just there's so many, right? Sean Ellis was wrongfully convicted of murder, but ended up exposing police corruption. And this is how bad this particular case is. Oh yeah, once again, by the way, any of these articles that you see, I'm going to have them all down in the comments below. So if you want to just read along, you can. If you want to see what article that I'm looking at, then I'll have them numbered and everything down below. Maybe I'll try to do a time stamp too. This story, it's happened over and over and over again, plucking some young black kid off the street and locking him up. And the craziest part about this one actually, he fought these charges. He was arrested on October 6th, 1993 on charges of first-degree murder, armed robbery, and 2 counts of illegal possession of a firearm. Okay. This guy fought it. He had 2 mistrials. Yeah, after 2 mistrials, there you go. After 2 mistrials, Ellis was convicted and sentenced to life in prison on January 4th, 1995. So they had 2 freaking mistrials. 2 mistrials trying to lock this guy up. 2 of them. And they finally bum rushed him into prison. And then he ended up spending how many years? I think they said, prison for 22 years in Boston. 22 years. They're locking people up for 22 years for things that they did not do. Just got to put that shit in perspective real quick. Rebecca Mercer, once again, this is just more so of just an example of how the Trump sycophants are just, they have their own set of rules. The ultra rich that really, really don't give a shit about anybody else. Those people are running the show right now. The Mercers, also attached to Cambridge Analytica. They have been contributing lots of money to the Trump cabinet, so on and so forth, and they have invested in Parler, which is basically Twitter for racists. And here's the part that I really want to focus on, and I'm going to get off of this. Parler was founded, and this is how Republicans are so... I don't think they're very good at messaging. I just think that Democrats are dumb and they accept it. And I'll explain what I mean in just a second. Parler, founded in 2008 by Mercer, John Matz, and Jared Thompson, hope I got all that right, bills itself as an unbiased social media and a place where people can speak freely and express yourself openly without fear of being deplatformed for your views. According to its website and app store description, it looks like a mashup of Twitter and Instagram, with its main feed follower count as its ways to share posts and links. Okay. Now, the problem with that is the reason why some of these people are being kicked off these other platforms is because they're making threats to people. They're telling blatant lies and or sharing mis or disinformation. And that's the thing. It's that you should have to be responsible for the things that you type and hit send. I mean, that's only fair. And if you're sending out blatant misinformation and or lies and or making threats, I don't see why that's not something that should be sanctioned in some way, shape, or form. Now, that as the reality is that, in my opinion, we have to go all the way back to Congress, and they need to legislate new rules for the internet. That way people can't just be out there willy-nilly making threats to people, threatening physical harm, and or organizing some of these crazy backwoods conspiracy theories, and that stuff needs to be taken care of. So needless to say, this is just Parler is a terrible idea, and this is one of those things that's ultimately going to it's going to get us, it's going to contribute greatly to the downfall of media as we know it. All right, so anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's been great. Thank you so much for joining me. Once again, my name's Alvin. This is Simple Shit. Like I said, I'm just doing vlog style throughout the week, and then on the weekends, I'll probably do something a little bit more in depth. It's a growing, changing, evolving process for me. I'm getting more comfortable doing this, figuring out how to work all of my devices. So if you have any questions, comments, please subscribe, please comment, give me your feedback. If there are things that you'd like me to talk about or things that you don't quite understand, hit me up. So, ladies and gentlemen, Erykah Badu said it best. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.